Hello friends, welcome to my channel Doctor Online 24/7. Today I'm going to tell you about signs of approaching death. We all come to death in different ways, but unless it's a case of sudden or traumatic death, there are some recognizable signs. The first sign you may notice is a decreased appetite. It is common to encourage your loved one to eat or to provide artificial nutrition when you notice this. However, research now indicates that forced nutrition in terminally ill patients may actually worsen the patient's condition. Digesting food requires a level of energy that the dying person just may not have. One way even a healthy person may have experienced this lack of energy for digestion is by growing nauseous or vomiting following an intense workout. During an exhaustive workout, the body reallocates resources to the muscle groups and organs that require it the most. This leaves the digestive system with limited energy, thus inducing nausea as it is unable to process food at that moment. A dying person's body is also reallocating limited energy supplies to keep the essential systems of the body working. Because of this, their bodies lack the energy to digest food, therefore making the presence of food painful or even intolerable. Carbohydrates are our body's major source of energy. When our bodies no longer have enough carbohydrates to metabolize, such as when we stop eating, they start breaking down fat to create energy. As fat is broken down in the body, ketones build up. You have probably already heard of ketones alongside the rise of the keto diet. Ketones play an interesting role at the end of someone's life. The resulting raised ketone levels suppress hunger, thirst, and pain. There is also some evidence that high ketone levels can produce a state of well-being or mild euphoria. Forcing someone to eat or drink at the end of their life may prevent the buildup of ketones and reverse this metabolic process, causing increased hunger, thirst, and pain. This period without food usually lasts about 10 days. Remember that patients are not dying because they are not eating. They are not eating because they are dying. Artificial hydration can also create more discomfort. As the body shuts down, the kidneys are no longer able to regulate fluid well. This can cause edema or swelling in the legs. But worse, it can also cause swelling in the lungs. This causes distressing symptoms such as shortness of breath and coughing. The reallocation of energy supplies also involves shunting blood away from non-vital areas, such as the arms and legs, to preserve oxygen delivery to the brain and heart. This may lead to cold and mottled extremities, which it then travels up from. It is not painful, but giving the patient an extra blanket may help keep them warm. Research shows that this occurs late in the dying process and is a cardinal sign that death will occur within hours to days. A third sign you may notice is breathing changes. As the body dies, respiration progressively becomes a solely involuntary act controlled by the brain stem. This primal part of the brain handles life-saving functions when the rest of the brain is unaware of what's happening. Breathing often becomes irregular. There might be periods in which a person is unable to breathe at all for as long as 10 to 20 seconds at a time. Administering oxygen does not help. In fact, due to these breathing patterns, oxygen is not likely to be taken deep into the lungs, which often results in drying the person's nose and mouth. On top of this irregular breathing pattern, you may also hear a gurgling sound each time the patient breathes. This is because swallowing becomes more difficult, and secretions may pool at the back of the throat, causing the noisy breathing known as the death rattle. It is important to know that this is not distressing for the patient because they are non-responsive and deeply asleep at this point. At the very end of life, the breaths generally become quieter and more spaced apart until, eventually, one breath is not followed by another. The fourth sign is incontinence. When we're alive, our brain constantly sends signals to tell different parts of our body what to do. At the end of life, these signals stop, and our muscles relax. The sphincter is in a constant state of contraction, so when there are no more brain signals to the bladder or bowels, they will relax. So it's not uncommon for incontinence to occur just before death. The fifth and final sign is agitation. You may find your loved one, who is typically lethargic, trying to stand up, get out of bed, or change position. They may tug at their clothes or bedding. They may not recognize you or yell at you using language you've never heard from them before. These symptoms may be caused by reduced oxygen to the brain, dehydration, or pain medications. Although it may look distressing, this condition is not considered to be painful. Anti-anxiety medication can be given to alleviate the symptoms. Though many people show some combination of these signs at the very end, they're not universal. And just because someone shows one of these signs, it doesn't mean they're actively dying. These signs are guideposts, not rules, and every sign has to be contextualized. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel.